I'm Brandon Jones. I'm president of Jones Electric Company out of Florence, Alabama, and we do industrial electrical contracting work. So long story short, it kind of started when I was in college. My parents were building a house, and I just went bebopping through there one day, checking it out in my polo and flip-flops. And the electrician that was wiring their house was like, "Hey kid, I'll pay you $12 an hour to help me pull some wire." I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'm in college, I need some money." So I worked for that guy for 2.5 years. And when college didn't work out and all that kind of stuff, and I was doing that full time, I had already kind of started going away from him, doing my own thing. And my dad was like, "Hey, look, if you're going to do this, you should really consider going and getting on the apprenticeship program." So that's what I did. And I worked construction at Nucor and a couple other industrial plants for a couple other contractors. And then I went to TVA, and I worked there for about 5 years. And after I topped out and became a journeyman, they started bouncing me around. I had a lot of different experience in a lot of different parts of the plant. And I didn't want to be away from home. So I started thinking about my business again before I had gotten on the apprenticeship program, and I went and got my contractor's license, and we started doing a little side work here and there, you know, hanging grandma's fixtures, crawling under rental properties for people and things like that. And then it just, it kind of exploded. You know, it went from doing it on the weekend to doing it every night to having to hire a couple people, and then at some point I just decided to leave TVA and went full time with it. TVA is a good job. You know, it's well paid. You know, so financially, it's one of the more rewarding careers in our area for tradesmen. But when you looked at where I was at with TVA, what I was having to do, I had a wife, new wife, had a small kid. I didn't want to be on the road, so it just kind of made sense. I would say one of the most challenging things of owning your own business in the beginning is the amount of hats you have to wear. You know, you have to, in my business, I have to be the estimator, the scheduler, the planner, the accountant, and everything else that goes along with it. You don't have just one set job. You're doing a little bit of everything all the time, and any problems that arise comes to you. That and managing your cash flow and doing a lot of things you just don't know how to do, you know, unless you're experienced in business or grew up in a business, or you went to school for, you know, and got an MBA or something like that. And even if you did, I think there would be a lot of things pop up that you just don't know how to do, and you're just trying to figure it all out. The way I figured out most stuff was just reading. I've done a lot of reading. You know, YouTube helps some stuff. There's tons of classes specific. So, you know, when you go to school, and you get an MBA or a degree or whatever, it's very generic. It's very general. So you have to dial it in to what you want to do, and the way you do that is your own research. You know, you're either scouring the library or you're the internet nowadays, you know, and going through that way and just picking up little bits and pieces wherever you can to help your own business out. I would say the rewarding parts of owning your own business are, it's not really one specific thing. You know, it's like the little wins. You fight towards a little goal and you hit it and it works out and it's hoorah, but it's never ending. So in my business, it's never ending. You get a contract, you fulfill it, and then where's the next one, you know? And so it's the little mountains you climb, adding a couple more people, or finally getting that accountant on staff, or finding that, you know, some really good help. You know, that's the rewards. When you see people that, or kids that start young, and you see them move throughout their career, and they get better and they get smarter and they make more money, and you know, and in our business we pay our guys well, so some of that reward is seeing their kids go to Disney World, or seeing them put their kids in college where some other, you know, companies can't afford to pay that for their people, you know. So there's a lot of rewards, you know, in just different ways. There's a lot of misconceptions about owning your own business. One, that it's easy. You know, it takes a lot of hard work. Most of the time when you see a business, you see the result of somebody's constant hard work. That you don't see them parked at the office at 9 o'clock at night, or at the office at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then 9 o'clock that night every day in a single week. You just see, oh, they've got a nice truck, or they've got a nice boat, or a nice house, or they wear nice clothes, or whatever. You don't see a lot of times the hard work that really goes into it. And that's not even always the case. A lot of people think that business owners are just rich. He's got a business, and he's rich, and that's not always true either. I think one of the best things kids could do in high school is really start working on their social skills. If you want to be a business person, you have to be social, and there's no exception for that. There's very few businesses out there that you cannot be successful without networking. So working on how you present yourself and how do you talk to people, and just work in a room, meeting one person the next, finding out about them, remembering their name. I struggle with that. That's a hard deal for me. So I have to come up with little bitty things, repeat it in my head, or it's first and last, last and first, and just however you can to associate them with their name. But really your social skills are very important. One good key I've found about socializing with other people is they don't really care what you've got to say. They want to talk about what they want to talk about. So if you want to mingle with people, you better find out what they're interested in, because that's what people want to talk about, is what they're interested in. If you run across a deer hunter and you want to talk about NASCAR, y'all not going to have a long conversation, right? But if you start talking about deer and the acorns growing and things you've seen, then y'all going to have a good conversation. One of the challenges I faced in running my business is I was not a business person. I was a really good electrician, and when I first started, I always kind of set myself down a little bit because I was afraid to take that next step because I didn't know how to do that. There's a certain way this has got to be done, and I didn't know how to do it. But as I went on, the reality of it is there's no set one way to do anything. If you're trying to accomplish a goal, I guarantee you there's 1,000 different ways to get there. And you may do it differently than, say, another person, and your idea is better. The way you do it's better. And so for us, that has been a major breakthrough in my business career, is just learning that I don't have to have the wisdom of a 100-year-old contractor to make it. I can figure it out on my own. Being personable with these guys at the plant, there's no set in stone way to do business. You can just figure it out. I guess the last bit of advice I could offer is just, you got to earn it. Not a lot of businesses fall into your lap. You've got to hustle. You've got to take the time to, I don't have a college degree, and even if I did, I don't think it would matter that much. It would help, I'm sure, but you still have to fill in the blanks. You just got to be continuously educating yourself every day, because even in a business like mine that's 100 years old, or however long it is, don't quote me on that, it changes every day. Businesses re-evolve all the time, and you are constantly having to educate yourself. So the drive, or the hard part, is staying motivated. Stay motivated, to keep pushing, to keep grinding. The reward is right beyond. So many people quit right before they see the reward. I've seen it in the short time that I've been in business. There's been other contractors that quit right before they were rewarded, and then somebody else steps in, moves a rock, and there's the gold. And so you just have to keep grinding. You have to keep moving.